Hey, everybody, welcome back to another straight up real episode of The Real Deal. So, there's a lot of crazy stuff going on in America, as always, in the USA. And there are people, they praise some of the wrong people in this country, you know? And some of the people you might stick up for are just nut jobs, psychopaths. And you might agree with their political values and terms, you might not. And I do believe in freedom of speech, but I also believe that if I'm out protesting something, I have to follow the laws. I don't break stuff. I don't smash a car. I don't beat up a cop. I don't do anything stupid, you know? I'm trying to make change. And when somebody goes by and they see, it's like, oh, look at him. He's being positive about everything instead of being a schmuck that goes out and holds a sign once a week and lives in a $500,000 house and in an all-white community. And then they say Black Lives Matter. Well, where are they at in your community? They're not there. See, we do things right. When we go out and protest or when I talk on here, I'm telling you the truth. I'm not sitting in a mansion, you know? I mean, I'm not high and mighty. I'm just telling you the truth. And I don't need to go out and be a hypocrite. And so many people love it when the cameras are on them. That's the only time they do any good. Or when they can brag about it. I gave a homeless man $1. Whoop-de-freaking-do, man. Just do it. Nobody needs to know about it. Well, it might encourage others to give. Well, you don't have to tell them you gave. Just say, hey, man, why don't you give to the homeless? Pretty simple, isn't it? There's a lot of crazy people in the United States, and there always has been. And right now, there's a guy going around, and honestly, I don't like the guy. I don't care much for him. I don't like where he stands. I don't like his values. I don't like the things he's doing. And that's why I'm going to talk about him. And he has free speech, but he violates the rules left and right, doing some crazy psychopathic stuff. And what happens is people judge everybody by him. They'll judge everybody on the side that he's on by him. That's how it goes. And it's funny because only one side seems to always do that. You know, Joe Biden would get up there and say stupid stuff and do dumb things and screw up the economy, but you don't dare criticize him. Don't you dare say anything bad about him. But Donald Trump could sneeze and poop himself, and that's all you're going to hear about. And they're going to talk about that for years because that's all they got. And that's how they are. So when this guy acts like a psychopath, let me just tell you people right now, not everybody that leans conservative acts like this guy or agrees with him or believes in what he's doing, okay? Not everybody. He's a far-right activist. Not everybody acts like that. Not everybody thinks like that. So don't judge a whole group of people by one thing. Because I see that all the time. Like, let's say there's a big shooting and it's a black guy. And I'll see on Facebook all these people coming out of the woodwork with racism. And I'm like, seriously? It's not the whole race of people that it was one person. And that's how this psychopath is. And there's plenty of them out there. I don't like him. I don't support him. I hope none of y'all listening support him. And that man is Jake Lang. Now, he was born Edward Jacob Lang in New York. They don't even know exactly what year. He's about 30 or 31 years old. But he's a punk. All right? He's a punk. He goes around and he goes to these protests and he's far right and he does all this stuff and he's a big Trump supporter. So just because one guy is a psychopath when it comes to Trump doesn't mean everybody is. So we get it. You guys hate Trump, but don't judge Trump by what everybody does because there's a lot of nut jobs on the left, like the ones that are trying to kill Trump all the time. I've never seen a president in my lifetime or even heard of it getting so many executions and assaults against him. But it's funny, the left doesn't seem to mind. That's okay. But don't you dare say anything about Obama. Oh, how dare you? You're a racist. Anyway, Lang was involved in the January 6th protest. He was there like many others. Now, a lot of the people just basically walked inside, and I personally don't have a problem with them walking into the halls of Congress like that. They didn't hurt anybody for the most part. It's ours. That building is ours. We paid for it, and we're paying for it, and we're paying the salaries of those bums inside there. Nobody got attacked in there. I didn't see any representatives. Half of them, well, most of them weren't there that day, but then afterwards, like, I was in the bathroom. Oh, sure you were. Whatever. I doubt it. You were probably passed out drunk on the floor, Pelosi. But it's like, he was involved in January 6th, but where he got in trouble, he got 11 counts. He got arrested and had 11 counts against him, including many assaults. He got 4 years in prison because he beat up police officers with a baseball bat. Now, I have a problem with that. You want to go and you protest and you want to sit there and go, woo, yeah, America, this is our house. We paid for it, just like that long-haired guy said, just like the real deal said. Okay, cool. Just like the guy with the antlers said. That kind of stuff. Okay, you're not hurting anything. Trespassing, I guess. Well, it's my building. I paid for it. I should be able to walk in the White House anytime I want. Sometimes I do. Trump sees me coming. He's like, here he comes again. All right, bust out the good stuff for him. Guy loves me. What can I say? Anyway, so he got 4 years in prison. Beat up police officers with a baseball bat. And it wasn't just smack. It was beat them with a baseball bat. And he did a lot of other stupid stuff. That's how he got his fame and fortune, basically. Well, not fortune, but he got his fame. And he got 4 years in prison, but he got paroled. And then, like, over the years, he's done a lot of other crazy stuff, going to different things, going to different protests, and he likes the attention. He likes that. And that's what a lot of people do. They like the attention, the popularity, because it keeps them going. Because there's other people out there that's like, I like old Jake Lang, let's send him some money. That's what they do. And there's other people out there that's like, this guy's a nut job, man. We got to do something about him. Goes both ways, people. But he's got a lot of followers. Got a lot of people working on his side. So he threatened a bunch of cops in front of the Capitol. And basically he was telling them, you know, throw them like dogs in the Potomac. Basically they need to die. He said a lot of rude things to them, basically threatening to kill these guys. Now, he was supposed to be at a protesting some stuff going on. And so they arrested him. Gave him a bench warrant. It's still out there. He's never shown up for court. So, I mean, he's not going back to D.C. anytime soon. He's done a lot of crazy stuff. I can't even go through it all. It's so crazy, man. But, so, then he lives in Florida now. Well, that's his home base. He ran for Senate, or he tried to get on the ballot. And he has said a lot of rude racist things, not just now, but over the years. And he said he would deputize the Proud Boys. We all know what kind of group that is. And he said he would make it to where it would be legal to hunt illegal immigrants. Illegal aliens, it would be legal to hunt them. Now, he's not talking about rounding them up and deporting them. He's talking about hunting them, that would be okay. And he didn't raise much money for his campaign. He raised like $5,000 or $6,000 that they know of. And then he failed to register. So he's not a candidate in the elections in Florida. He's not even going to be on the ballot. But then at the beginning of this year, he was up in Minnesota. And he had a big old march up there, and he was going to burn a Koran, and, you know, he was going against the Muslims and stuff. And, you know, Minnesota has a large Somali population, and there was a lot of problems with them cheating and their fraud and the Leering Center and all that crap. And I understand that. I understand being upset about that, because that's my money. That's your money. Not just the state of Minnesota. They got federal dollars, people. So basically, he was outnumbered. He got his ass kicked. And then these girls drove by and felt sorry for him. They didn't know what was going on. They picked him up, and then he said a bunch of crazy stuff to them. They were black girls, by the way. I'm sure he didn't say peace and love to them. And they threw him out of the car. And he tried to say after the attack, it was all the Muslims going after him. He didn't deserve it. He was just sitting out there being a peaceful protester. Now, I've seen this guy in action. I don't think he knows what the word peace means unless it's a piece of pie. I mean, this guy doesn't know what peaceful is. And then he tried to say he got stabbed and all this other stuff. It's like, then he got arrested again. And it was in Minnesota. And he vandalized I think it was an anti-ice statue or something somebody put up. And it's worth several $1,000s. And he recorded himself vandalizing it, going off on them and all this stuff. And, he pled not guilty. And just some of the things that he's done like that. Yet people see that it's a good thing. Well, I'm for ICE, so they shouldn't be able to put that statue up. Sure they can. I can put a statue in my front yard up. It's my property. I put a statue up there if I want. People don't like it. Well, too bad. My property. If the city put it up and I disagree with it, yes, I understand that. But it wasn't. It was a private citizen. It was just crazy, man. And he's done that, and he tries to claim First Amendment. That's his big thing. First Amendment, which he has the right to. But again, he doesn't need to be violent. And he says a lot of rude, racist things, a lot of sexist things against women. In Minnesota, he had a black woman that was his judge from India. So he didn't like that too well, He's made a big point of that. And he still hasn't gone to trial for that yet. He's got arrest warrants everywhere, man. He had a rally outside Mayor Mamdani's office. Now, again, I'm not a fan of Mad Dummy, Mamdani. I'm not a fan of the guy. Guy is there for a reason. He's a pawn. He's a puppet. But he had a thing about stopping the Islamic takeover, but it didn't draw too many people. And that's the thing with him. He has people funding him to where when people do show up, just like on the left, they're paid. They're paid by organizations. But here's what happened over there in New York City. And this is where it got a little ugly. He didn't have a lot of protesters there, maybe 20, 30 people. And, of course, they're all white people, always. And some people came from Pennsylvania. And they got arrested. They threw incendiary devices at those people. Now, that's not right either. Two wrongs don't make a right. You don't do stuff like that. Because these guys are out there just rambling, and people are looking like, what an idiot. So you don't have to go and do anything like that. And that just makes other sides look bad. And we don't know a lot about these people that were arrested, but they got busted. This just recently happened. Now, he got arrested all over the place. He's been arrested in New York, Pennsylvania, all over the place, Minnesota. He was down in Frisco, Texas, and he trespassed in the stadium where you heard about the old story of Austin Metcalf and, where he got stabbed by that one dude. And now there's more stuff coming about that. And it's like how the guy was just a horrible mess. And he carried a knife and he's proud of it. And he stalked his ex-girlfriend. And Carmelo Anthony, he's the one he's going to prison. But now they hid this stuff during the trial, which I don't understand. It's like, this is stuff that's important as to why he had a knife and his ex-girlfriend, he was stalking her, threatening her and all this. Why are you going to hide that stuff? He murdered somebody. But anyway, he was down there and he got in trouble because he trespassed. And they released him on a bond. He still hasn't gone back. He's not going down there. He made terrorist threats and he got arrested down in, I believe it was Dallas, Texas this time. Now, I have to wonder too, first of all, I'll get back to this in a minute. Where's he getting the money to travel? He doesn't have a job. The jobs that he had were like little rink-a-dink things that he started, you know? And who's giving him all this money? I mean, obviously there's groups out there. Is it the KKK? Is it the Proud Boys? Is it the Nazis? Because they're still around. So where's he get the money to travel? But anyway, he got arrested in Texas, down in Dallas, and he made terrorist remarks. His bond was $1 million. Now, this is me getting back to the money again. But they lowered it to $250,000. He got reduced. He got released on bond. Where did he come up with that money? Because he has no really set form of income. Who's giving him all this money? And, you know, if you stop and think about it, it might not be a right-wing radical group. It could be a left-wing group paying him to do all this. Yeah, I'm serious. They could do this because it makes them look bad. They know what they're doing. They play this game. It could be George Soros and his boys. But it's like, how do you get the money to get out? That's a lot of money to get out on a bond, man. Oh, and he still hasn't gone back. And actually, he was barred from entering the state of Texas. He's not ever allowed back there until court and legal reasons and stuff. So last week, he was down in Dearborn, Michigan. And everybody knows that's like the Muslim capital of America. And they were going to have a city council meeting, and they were building this up for a long time. There was going to be a major anti-Muslim protest. He was in Dearborn, and he was with a church from Detroit. A brother, a black man, was preacher there. And they were going against the city council. They were going to have a protest. And he was bringing all his Christian crusaders, as he calls them, with them. He said there were going to be 50,000 of them. So, of course, you know, Dearborn's a little scared of all this. And I have a friend who's a cop down in Dearborn. I feel bad for him, especially everything going on around there now. He says it's pretty ugly now. He says if you pull somebody over and they're Muslim, you get in trouble for it because it's racism because he's white. He says he can't wait to retire. And that's how it is. They control everything down there. So I understand Lang's frustration, but he went to the city council meeting. They had to move it to a library because there were so many people going to show up. He went in there and went off and tried to burn a Koran, and the cops pulled him out of there and stuff. The black preacher man went in there, and like in my earlier podcast, like the one about Christians and Muslims that I just did recently, the preacher man from Detroit got up there and was preaching and going off on the Muslims and saying we're a Christian nation. We are not a Christian nation. We are a nation of all religions, and we are not forced to follow anything. I understand where they're coming from. I understand the frustration that they feel. There's a lot of people that feel that way, but there's better ways to deal with it. So Lang was there with all his people, and 99% of them were white, of course. And they're all shouting and screaming and attacking and going off and throwing things. And he has a megaphone and a vest on for protection and all this other stuff. And the Dearborn police had to get involved, and it got a little ugly. They arrested about 22 people. Lang's just a punk. He's just a punk. He's a freaking racist, man. But he didn't have 50,000 people there with him. He's just, I kind of think he's doing all this to get attention. Again, where's he getting all the money to travel like he does? He's going all over the nation. He's just not getting in the cars and stuff and on his own. And I mean, somebody's paying for all this. I'd like to know who. We'll never know. He's not going to tell us. But anyway, the people that were there, and this is a great example of his people, they were carrying Confederate flags. Now, they were supposed to be all Christians, but they were dropping F-bombs and saying a lot of curse words. And they were carrying swastika flags. And the biggest problem I have with that is obviously the swastika is a good symbol in India. It's a good symbol over there. Hitler took it, changed it, and made it an ugly symbol. Now, if you see it on the streets of India, you don't worry. It's a blessing. It's a good thing. It's like a good luck thing. You see it anywhere else, you know it's a racist thing, and they want to kill you. And if you're a Jew, look out. And the funniest thing about all that is Lang. So he was born in New York. He has a Jewish mother. His mother's Jewish, which means through the maternal bloodline, he's Jewish. That's how it goes. And he's he has said, okay, well, let's get back to his Jewish roots right here before I get into this. He had a Jewish mother. He got a bar mitzvah. He was been to the Western Wall. There's pictures of him kissing the Western Wall, probably stuffing a prayer in there. That's what you do. And there's a picture of him holding his bar mitzvah certificate in front of the Western Wall in Jerusalem. I don't know what happened over the years, but he hates Jews. Hates them with a passion. Hates Jews, hates Muslims, hates Zionism, as he calls it, hates Israel. And, the man is Jewish. Now, this happens a lot. Just because people have Jewish blood, they don't accept it. Like I say, George Soros is a Jew. He's a Nazi. Karl Marx was a Jew. There's a lot of famous people throughout history that have Jewish blood, and they didn't like it. And this guy, though, goes a little over the top to go through all that. To go to the Western Wall is a huge thing. He made Aliyah to go to Jerusalem. He made it over there. He's got a young picture. I've seen the pictures. I've seen all this. But somewhere down the road, he decided he hated Jews. He speaks out against them all the time. He hates Israel. He hates Zionism to a T. I think it was this year. I think it was the beginning of this year. I could be wrong. It could have been the end of last year. I know it was cold out. But he went outside the lobby of AIPAC, which is the American Israeli Political Action Committee, which is a Jewish organization which receives private donations from Jewish people, and they give that money to people to stick up for Jewish people to help support them. If you're running for a political office and you support Israel, they're going to help you get elected because Israel is very important, and they know that. And that's how it goes. They're very pro-Israel. By being pro-Israel, they're pro-Zionist, pro-Jewish, because it's all connected. So when someone says they hate Israel or they hate Zionism, just come right out and say you hate Jews. We get it, okay? We know what you're saying. Don't try to hide behind all this. But anyway, he went out there. He was given the Nazi salute. He had people with him with Nazi flags, of course. And he was throwing chocolate coins, which, gelt, which would you call gelt. So it must have been maybe around Hanukkah or something. And he was throwing them at people and throwing them into fountains and things like that. And he started screaming about white people, you will be replaced, and your children will be black Muslims if you don't do something and stand up now. And white men are not going to sit around. And I can't say the word, but he said, when you turn our kids, and he's saying this to a Jewish group, into a bunch of N-word lovers. AIPAC supports black people. There's a lot of black Jews out there. There's a lot of black Jews, a lot of brown Jews, a lot of ginger Jews. Come in all shapes, sizes, and colors, Jewish people do. But he hates Jews now. And again, I want to know where he's getting his money. I want to know. This guy is a nut. And here's the kicker. Because what I do is I write everything down. I research everything. And I double check and verify anything because I'm not going to give you any false leads or false identity. I'm not going to tell you any lies. I'm not going to tell you my thoughts and speculation if it doesn't connect with the truth and reality. But while I was researching this, and I was writing everything down and double checking my notes, and I was like, okay, let me look up one more thing. And when I did that, I found out that he was just arrested in Minneapolis with a bunch of other nut jobs, and they call him a far-right activist. He is. He's far-right. He's so far-right, he's going to have a swastika on him someday. And now Hitler would like that. Hitler was okay with the Jews on his side, the Kappos. Now, they were arrested. Him and his people were arrested on probable cause. They were rioting out there. He drove his vehicle, or whoever he was with someone else in the vehicle, but they drove onto the sidewalk outside City Hall towards a group of people that were gathered there. Now, they could have gone in there. They could have killed everybody. I'm like, what is wrong with this guy, man? What is wrong with this guy? And how does he get out? How does he get out of all this stuff? It was awful. They got out. They started deploying mace on one another. It was awful, man. I just don't understand it. But they got arrested for probable cause of a riot. Couple vehicles. And I'm like, what? What are you thinking? I don't believe in changing the world through violence like this. I believe sometimes, things got to get a little tough before people will listen. But this is nuts, people. This guy is a far-right psychopath. And it's not going to end well. Either he's going to get shot up or some other innocent people will. But when I see people storming with swastika flags at a group of people like the Jews, like AIPAC, that have had to deal with that stuff, because I guarantee some of them boys in AIPAC they saw some stuff. Some of them might be Holocaust survivors, because a lot of them are still involved, and a lot of those guys, they live to be 100 years old and they don't give up. I mean, I've seen some that are in their 90s that are so active, it blows my mind. I'm like, dude, good for you. And I believe that there's a reason that they're still around, so people won't forget. But when I see someone going after them with a swastika, and some of those people probably came from, their parents were probably survivors. I know a lot of people lost people in the camps. I know a lot of people. A lot of people lost family over there. A lot of people lost friends. It's hard to think about it. It's hard to talk about. So when you go after somebody with a swastika because you don't like them and you're one of them, you got a problem. When you're going all over the country and you're marching against people, and I don't care if you like them or not, you're threatening these people. Now, if they've done something wrong or are doing something wrong, okay, cool. Put a stop to it. Only violence if violence needs to be done. But this guy, man, he just trips me out. And I know more things are going to happen. And I know there's going to be more people jumping on board with him. I know more people are going to start supporting him. And it's going to end ugly, people. I know people are going to die over this crap. I know that things are going down around this country. It's not going well. There's a lot of stuff going with elections. And I see so much racism still in America. I see it on a daily basis. You got a guy running for governor in the state of Michigan, John James. And I saw on Facebook one day where he announced his running mate. And this was an article from Detroit. So I clicked on it. And I was like, it's coming straight from Detroit. I want to see who he picked. He made a good choice. And I'm reading the comments. And it's all these far-left Democrats bashing him for being black. I mean, they're coming up with old-school stereotypes about dancing for coins and all kinds of stuff. The word coon and a lot of, I'm like, dude, but hey, we don't want war in Israel. Hey, we're good people. You see that all the time. You see these people all the time on their properties. They have these signs, But they're the biggest hypocrites there are. And they're going to be going after Lang when basically they're just like him. They are just like him, just on a different side. Because they do the same thing. They go nuts on people. They go crazy on people. But the media doesn't cover that as much. You won't hear about as much of that. The mainstream media, go look at my other podcasts. I told you who owns them. I told you who's controlling them. It's messed up, man. The mainstream media is set up not to give you information, but to feed you what they want you to believe. People, we're in the times of 1984. If you've ever read the book, read it. We're there. We are there. You do what the party says. You believe everything they tell you. We're there. Some of us still come out and tell the truth, people. So if this Jake Lang comes to your town, stay away. All right? Be safe, people. There's a lot of people out there like him. He's just getting more credibility and publicity right now. But I'm sure there's going to be more copycats coming out of the woodwork. And it's going to get ugly, people. So watch yourselves, all right? Because I understand you want to go protest and stuff. I know some people that went down, they wanted to protest the city council meeting because they're very anti-Islamic. But they wanted to go down there and hold a sign as why we don't want Sharia law and things like that. And then they get caught up in this. So they're the good guys getting caught up with, well, might as well say it, they're the bad guys. The good guys get caught up. They try to do things. They got caught up with the bad good guys. You know what I'm saying? So dig it, people. Watch yourselves. Be safe, my brothers and sisters. I'm telling you, things are going to get really ugly, especially with the election coming up. Just a couple months to go, and I'm already seeing people hating one another over this stuff. Oy vey, the people in this world. Something else, man. But we have to be united. When we vote, you vote for the best person for the job. Don't do party lines. Get out there and vote for the guy that's going to do something. And don't listen to people like Jake Lang. He doesn't know what he's talking about. The guy's a freaking sellout. And like I said, I want to know who's funding him. Just because you got a gun and some power and a megaphone doesn't mean that you got a lot of friends and family and power. Okay? Doesn't mean that you're smart. Doesn't mean you're in charge. But when you sit behind a microphone like I am, that's how you know somebody's smart. Because I'm telling you the truth, and I'm the real deal, baby. Peace.